Some time ago, a time that seems like eons now, I wrote a piece on this column on children as heroes of our homes. In the piece, I tried to draw attention to the misuse many parents were putting their children to under the guise of bringing them up. I'm all for not sparing the rod and all that, but I do believe that children are entitled to a modicum of regard to enable them grow up decently. It is only children whose learning experiences are decent that will turn round to respect the society that brings them up. Today, as we celebrate Children's Day again, I want to draw attention to another aspect of our social deviousness, the sexual assault the society allows its adults to mete out on children. These days, nearly every newspaper gives a sick-making report of one child or the other being assaulted sexually by people who should know better. And the reports keep coming each day. It has got so bad one can conclude that children are no longer safe on the streets, in their own neighborhoods, in their schools and even in their homes. From these reports, one gets the impression that there has been an outbreak of wickedness of tsunami proportions to children from the male populace across the world. Listen, it has got so bad even the devil is surprised. Just look at the headlines. Lagos printer rapes a 15-year-old pupil, lawmaker arrested for raping 14-year-old, 19-year-old molests 4-year-old, 65-year-old rapes friend's 12-year-old daughter, 32-year PLD defiles 11-year-old, 65-year-old molests teenage boy, 75 remanded for defiling 2 girls. All of these within a period of how many weeks or months? Looking at these reports, I want to join up. If she had been, she would have borne them in mind from the start of her social construction process. We all would have worked assiduously to leave a worthy legacy for them individually and collectively. We would have worked hard to bequeath to them a society that works, where electricity is not rare, where water flows from the tap, not the end of the child's bucket, and where food is not a privilege for the child but a right. In not giving our children any of these, we have rather consigned them to lives of servitude and slavery. In that life, each child now finds himself or herself working as a fetcher of water, primer of generator and hewer of wood in the average Nigerian home. As if these burdens were not enough, we are now adding sexual servitude to their burdens. The question is, who gave us the right to make our children sources of cheap gratification for our sexual perverseness? The devil? True, many of the culprits when caught claim that the devil made them do it. Like I said, I bet even the devil is dismayed that his name is being used so freely. He clearly does not send anyone on such horrible errands. It is therefore no use ascribing these deeds to the devil. He is far too busy. I mean, is he not seeing to the emptying of my pocket, my pot of soup and our national treasury? Give him some credit, he has far more important things to do. Rather alarmingly, the use of children for sexual gratification appears to be growing. Children appear to be more in demand in the sex slave trade which cuts across the world's boundaries now, so, people who are nurtured and allowed by their own parents and societies to grow up into adults suddenly develop bodily lusts which only other people's children can satisfy. On the other hand, those who cannot afford to participate in transnational sex slavery defile little children within their own borders. Hence, what we are witnessing is a renewal of the slave trade, that cost many lives in the past, in a new and deadlier form. This new form is not confined to a particular country or known social circuits, so it would be difficult to fight. It is practiced by people to whom the world bows under normal circumstances. Thus, a seized child could end up being the sex slave of a lawyer, doctor, dentist, contractor, cleric or even unemployed laborer, no defined status. These, with whom children should normally feel safe, are the ones who help to cut children's lives short or scar them for life. Why then are we witnessing this flare-up? Among others, the most important reason is perhaps this absence of a well-ordered society where the police and judiciary truly work to apprehend and punish. It has been said that Nigeria has not been able to entrench the reign of justice in the land. I agree. There are many things I should have been apprehended for but which I have got away with so far because of this lack of justice in the land. Just look at my laziness, it's colossal. I look forward to that day when justice will reign so that our children can grow up in peace without being sized up by some randy contractor who is licking his lips behind a window. Modernity may also have a bit to do with it. All these modern contraptions like cable networks, internet or films tend to expose people to social behavior that is not necessarily beneficial to one's own society. What the eyes see the brain wants to replicate. It is rather strange that the Nigerian government has over the years not encouraged the print information culture to flourish as the real reformer of character but has rather encouraged the digital culture to grow and become the real destroyer of instincts. Anyone can have any access to any kind of digital literature now from anywhere. This is not good. Too many unformed minds are exposed to the devil in them things. Never mind, I still insist the devil may be innocent in many cases ascribed to him, just like the knife is, until it is picked up. Besides these, the population explosion of the 80s and 90s is coming home to roost. While the governments at that time encouraged parents to breed children indiscriminately, those governments failed to make adequate plans for what would occupy the products of these breeding programs with. Most of those caught in the acts of defilement are those to whom the economy has not been too kind because of missed or absent opportunities. They are the products of poor planned governmental parenthood. The Nigerian society needs to wake up and stem this growing scourge. Our children are no longer safe in Nigeria, and I am not exaggerating. This kind of social misconduct is anathema to the traditional society in Nigeria. Children were much valued then and they still have the right to be nurtured and allowed to grow into adulthood, like others before them. They should be allowed to fill their heads with innocent nonsenses, great adventures, stories of heroic deeds, imaginations about great lands, etc. It will teach them to innovate and take initiative in their adult years for societal growth. Children should not have to worry about predators lurking around them, and adults should not be allowed to make our children bear the burdens of our various gratifications. We need to wake up, so that these headlines may change. Happy Children's Day!